Well, hey guys, what's up? It's your boy AL Legends, and today I shall be uploading another series which is going to be What if Naruto was the reincarnation of Madara and Hashirama and was neglected by his family as well as their grandson. So, without any further ado, let us start our video. But before starting this video, I would like to make a request to all of you guys who are watching this video to please guys subscribe to my channel because I really want to reach 10,000 subscribers as quick as possible, and it will help me a lot if you guys subscribe to this channel. So as well as guys, I have already completed What if Naruto was abandoned by his family. So if you guys have not seen that series, then go and watch that as well. It is pretty interesting. As well as I have put the link of my Instagram and the channel AR Cures in the description below. So follow and subscribe that channel as well. So without any further ado, let us start our video. We start this video with the roar of the nine tails could be heard across all the village as people were in pure panic as everyone was running away as the nine tails was touring through the village destroying buildings, killing off shinobis like insects like they were nothing, and then a single man stood in front of them. It was the fourth Hokage who took away the nine tails and then started to fight him as Kushina put her chains all over the nine tails as Minato was about to do his Reaper Death Seal, but then Tadokage arrived here as he said, "No Minato, stop it," as Minato was about to argue that how he's going to seal away the nine tails within his newborn children, which were none other than Menma, Naruko, and Naruto, as Tadokage said, "No, Minato, you are still young. You have to lead this village to greatness. But now it is my time to leave this village and this world." Minato was about to argue, but then Tadokage quickly go through the hand signs as the Shinigami appeared behind Tadokage. Minato at that point knew it was useless since the Shinigami arrived, and no matter if even if Tadokage do not complete the seal, he is still going to die either way. As then Tadokage said, "So Minato, how should I do this sale?" As Minato sighed and said, "Well, Lord Hurt, seal away 50% of the chakra in Menma and then 50% in the Naruto." And then he looked towards Naruto with a complete disgust on his face and said, seal away the soul in that little brat." As Minato asked then, Tadokage noticed the tone of Minato after he looked towards the third child, as then Tadokage nodded and then he quickly completed the seal as he sealed away 25% of the chakra in Menma, 25% in Mito, and then 50% in Naruto, along with the soul of the nine tails, which he did so because he already noticed what was going on. Tadokage was a genius. That was the main reason he was known as a professor. Now, we head towards a small flashback as three children were born of Minato Namikaze as he was really happy as it was a blonde boy as Minato was really happy. This kid looks like him as his name was Menma, and then it was a red hair girl which name was Naruko, and then Minato had a shocked expression on his face as well as then the expression turned into pure rage and disgust as it was the third child who had black hairs as well as blue eyes which he got from his father, but the black hairs, it was a mystery to many people, but Kushina noticed that as well as a face of pure disgust also arrived on her face as well as Minato has a flashback. It was his father who abandoned him. It was none other than Madara Uchiha. Since Minato took after his mother as Minato was never able to activate his Sharingan. So that was the main reason. Madara left him at the Hidden Leaf Village. He did not want Minato to be involved in his plans, thinking that he was weak and nothing more than weak, not able to activate even the Sharingan, which really angered Minato as he had a burning hatred for Madara. He tried his best to become strong, but Minato was nowhere near the level of great Madara Uchiha, which really angered him a lot. And looking after towards Naruto, Minato noticed that Naruto must have taken the genes of the Uchiha as he really which really angered him a lot. Minato did not even use the name of Uchiha. He always called himself Namikaze after his mother, so he really hated and after seeing that how Naruto looked like Madara, he really started to hate Naruto a lot, as well as Kushina. She was the descendant of Hashirama Senju. She can tolerate that Minato was the son of Madara. First she was angered, but then Minato told her that how he hated Madara and Madara abandoned him. So Kushina loved Minato after that, after knowing that how the son of Madara hated him. So that was the main reason she loved Minato as. But seeing that how one of her children is has taken after Madara, which was really angering to her. And on top of it, the soul of the nine tails To them, it was like the soul of the Nine Tails was sealed inside of Naruto. But in reality, Naruto not only had the 100% soul but also the 50% of the chakra of the Nine Tails. So Menma and Mito only have 25%, as third Hokage was not a fool and he was not taken over by the curse of hatred or the cycle of hatred, so he knew this kid must have a bad life even if he seals away Nine-Tails' soul inside of this kid. So he gave away some of the chakra as well so that one day Naruto could control this chakra and become a strong shinobi. And after that, he finally died. Now we have a time skip of 5 years. In this time, Naruto's life was pure miserable life, as he was not given food quite often, as he was forced to do all the work of the home at a small age. At the time he could walk, he was doing work for these home, as Kushina as well as Minato completely hated Naruto with all of their heart because he would look like Madara, and on top of it, to them, Naruto also had the soul of the Nine Tails and did not have any chakra, only the somewhat of chakra they could feel. So they thought that some of the scraps of the Nine Tails chakra must have been inside of Naruto as well, but they did not care whatsoever about it. And now Naruto as well as Menman and Mito are 6 years old, as Minato called all of them there, as he called Naruto on purpose because he just wanted to tell Naruto something, as Naruto was happy because it was about time for the training, because he already knew that clan heirs were trained at small age. And then Minato speak up, well, today we have both decided, Menma and Mito, we are going to train both of you, and then both of you are going to become strong shinobis. As Menma stood up, yeah, I'm going to become a strong shinobi, and then I shall become the strongest as well as become the Hokage. As Minato smiled, and then Kushina said, well, Mito, I'm going to train you how to use your chakra chains as well as to become the strongest Konoichi alive, as Mito also was quite happy. As then Naruto looked towards both Minato as well as Kushina and said, am I going to be trained as well? As Minato as well as Kushina looked towards Naruto with pure disgust, and then Minato smirked and said, well, Naruto, you're going to be trained as well. As Naruto smiled after hearing that, as Minato smirked and said, well, you're going to be the target practice for Menma and Mito. As Naruto's eyes widened, as both Menma and Mito started to laugh, as Naruto said, what? You cannot do that. As then he met with a slap to his face as he was sent flying into the wall, as it was Kushina, and she started to laugh and said, we can do that, you demon. How dare you to deny anything we say to you. As Naruto stood up, I'm sorry, mom. And then suddenly the chakra chains wrap around all around Naruto and said, as Kushina said, how dare you to call me mom? You're a demon and nothing more than a demon. As she threw Naruto away outside of the house and said, get lost, we have some business to take care of. Now go away. As Naruto stood up, as he started to run away from the house, as Naruto was crying in pure, as he was thinking, why this all happens to me? I never did anything to these people, but they always hate me. Why is this? As he was crying, as he was running towards the forest, but unknown to Naruto, he was running towards the forest of that, the training ground 44. As now we head towards the training ground, as Naruto was crying beside a tree, as he was thinking, why this happens to me? I never did anything to them. I never did anything to Menma and Mito, to these villagers, but they always hate me, and then they beat me every time. Why? Is it because I'm weak? But I'm just a kid. Even Menma and Mito are just like me. As why they hate me? As he was crying, but then he heard something growling beside him, as his eyes widened, as he realized he was in the forest, and then he quickly moved around only to see a bear was standing beside him. As Naruto's eyes widened, as he started to move back, as he said, no, as he started to run, but he slipped, and then he was on the ground, as pure fear took over Naruto, as Naruto looked towards the giant bear, whose hand was on the air, ready to claw him all over his body and then eat him away, as Naruto in pure fear, as his Sharingan glow into the light, as one Tomoe Sharingan in both eyes could be seen, and then a wooden spike arrived out of nowhere and then pierced the bear through his heart, killing him instantly. As Naruto's eyes widened, as before he could understand anything, suddenly his eyes started to go heavy and then he finally fell unconscious. As Naruto opened his eyes only to see that he was in a strange place, in a strange sewer, as he thought that villagers must have found him, and then he has finally left him in the sewer as Naruto started to walk, thinking that how the life is over and nothing good is going to come after this. As then he arrived at a rather space as he was surprised as he saw a giant gates beside him as he started to walk towards the gates as he said, what are gates doing here and this big? And then suddenly the red eyes opened as Naruto moved back and then flipped to the ground as he said, what? Who are you? And then the light could be seen within the cage as it was a giant nine-tails fox. As Naruto's eyes widened as he said, what? Nine tails? How are you here? Where am I? As then Kurama chuckled at that and said, huh, so you're the kid that old man talked about. Huh, interesting. Well, it seems that my jailer has finally decided to pay me a visit, huh? As Naruto said, what? What are you talking about? As Naruto started to move back, as Naruto said, you were killed by third Hokage. We were told that. As then Kurama laughed and said, well, I'm a tailed beast, one of the nine-tailed beasts, the strongest of the Bijus, the king of all Bijus. I cannot be killed by a mere mortal, as I could only be sealed away. As so, third Hokage sealed me inside of you and some of my chakra inside of your stupid siblings as well. As Naruto's eyes widened, as he said, so you are inside of me? That's the reason my parents hate me? As Kurama laughed and said, well, that is part of the reason, but they just wanted a reason to hate you. As Naruto said, what do you mean by that? As Kurama started to explain that how you look like someone. Even though I do not like that person either, but still, it is quite amusing to see you like this. But you look like someone. That is the main reason your parents actually hate you and despise you with all of their heart. As Naruto looked towards Kurama, what do you mean by that? As Kurama said, huh, you will find out soon enough. As Naruto was still moving back and then he bumped into someone as Naruto moved around as he said, as Kurama was talking as he said, well, you humans are really interesting or rather disgusting to be honest. Really, a lot of you. You treat your own kind like this. Even we tailed beasts do not treat us each other like this. As not then suddenly someone speak up, huh, as if you're any better, you beast. As Kurama glared at a person that was standing behind. As Naruto looked back only to see a long black haired man with the red glowing eyes. As Naruto was surprised, he has never seen this guy. As he said, who are you now? As then Madara smirked, as it was none other than Madara Uchiha. As then another voice came, now Madara, don't be that hard. After all, he is our grandson. As Madara speak up, huh, Hashirama, don't annoy me anymore. After all, you have been annoying me for 8 long years. I think that is long enough. As Hashirama put a hand on Madara's shoulder. No, Madara, don't be like that. After all, we are old friends, old buddies. As Madara has a tick mark on his head. As Naruto was really confused as he looked towards the second man who had a red armor. As Naruto's eyes widened, you are first Hokage, Hashirama Senju, right? As Hashirama smirked and said, see, Madara, he knows me and do not know you. Ha, I told you to become the second Hokage and then might this kid know about you as well. As Madara still has another tick mark on his head. As he said, damn you Hashirama, have you forgotten? I left the village and attacked this damn place. As Hashirama laughed and said, well, I almost forgot about it. As Naruto was looking towards both of them as they were bickering among themselves. As even Kurama was looking towards them with this going through his head. As then Hashirama looked towards Naruto and said, well, allow me to introduce myself properly. My name is Hashirama Senju, and I am the first Hokage of village hidden in the leaves, even though right now I'm quite disappointed in my own village, my own creation that I made. As Madara said, well, I told you, it was a mistake. As Hashirama said, well, it was not totally a mistake. As Madara looked towards Hashirama strangely, as Hashirama's eyes, and said, well, to be exact, this guy is, and I am your great grandfather. You already know about me, right? As Naruto nodded, and then Naruto looked towards the second guy and said, and who are you? As Madara smirked and said, well, my name is Madara Uchiha. as Naruto still had a blank expression on his face and said, and again, as Madara has a sweat drop as he said, as Hashirama started to laugh and said, well, see, Madara, he do not know about you. As he started to laugh, as then Hashirama speak up, well, he is one of the strongest Uchihas to ever live. As he started to explain the story, as Naruto said, so you're the rival of the first Hokage, huh? Well, sorry, I never heard about you because I don't think that it was written in the book that I had, as Madara sighs and said, well, don't worry, kid. You will get to know me in time, that is. As Naruto nodded at that, and then Naruto said, so why are you to here? The Nine Tails was telling me that it is my mindscape, so how are you here? As then Hashirama says, well, allow me to explain things to you. When both me and Madara died, we opened our eyes only to see that we were in this strange place, and then we saw how my student Sarutobi sealed away the nine tails inside of you. We were really surprised about it. Even Madara, my friend Madara, was surprised as Madara spoke up, and then we met up when this nine tails arrived here. First he tried to eat me, but he was beside those cages as Kurama scoffed at that, and then a strange person arrived out of nowhere. It was none other than Hagoromo Utsutsuki, also known as the Sage of Six Parts, as Naruto's eyes widened, already knowing about the Sage of Six Parts and the legendary power of the Rinnegan. As then Hashirama started to explain about the Indra as well as Ashura, as he explained us that how his two sons, known as the Indra as well as Ashura, started to fight among themselves and then their descendants, and all the story of Indra and Ashura, as Madara scoffed and said, that damn Zetsu, he was using me to revive his damn mother. How dare that black creature to use me? I will destroy him. As Hashirama said, well, Madara, have you forgotten? We are dead. As Madara said, damn you, Hashirama, just shut up already. As Hashirama just laughed at that, as Naruto had a sweat drop, as he said, so, you're telling me that I'm the reincarnation of both of you? So, I have both of your powers? As then Hashirama nodded and said, you have my Mogetan as well as my healing abilities. As Madara said, you have my power to control all the bijus and the legendary Sharingan. As he started to laugh, as Hashirama said, huh, still evil after the years, huh? As Hashirama said, well, Naruto, the main reason we are here so that we can give you our powers as well as we shall train you. Even though I'm really sorry, Naruto, how your parents have been treating you. I'm really, really disappointed in Tsunade as well as Kushina. They are my descendants. How can they treat you like this? As Naruto nodded at that, as he was really sad, as Madara said, well, I'm also quite disappointed in Minato. I know that I left him here, but there was a reason. He was not strong enough to be a part of my plans, and I wanted him to live a normal life, but I never expected that he will neglect one of his children like this just because he somewhat looked like me. As Naruto looked towards Madara and said, so that's the reason they hate me? As Madara said, well, unfortunately, it is a part of reason, but they are the victim of the cycle of hatred which I wanted to destroy. That is the main reason I wanted to put the world under the infinite Tsukiyomi where they can live their life. But unfortunately, there is no such jutsu. If I plant that jutsu to seal away all the nine tails within the Gato statue to revive the 10 tails, the world shall end. And the mother, a sage of six paths, will come back to life and then she will take over the world and there will be no future for Shinobi or for this world. As Naruto finally understood, even though it was a lot to take in, Indra, Ashura, Sage of Six Path, the reincarnations, and the stopping of the Black Zetsu. And Naruto said, so what do you want me to do? As Madara sighs and Hashirama laughed and said, well, my dear friend here, before dying, planted a plan to gather all the bijus within the Gato statue to revive the 10 tails. So he gave this plan to another Uchiha. What was his name again? Madara said, Obito Uchiha. Well, he was a kid who was dying within the second Great Shinobi War. So, third Great Shinobi War. So I saved him, and then his lover, got killed by another shinobi known as, I don't know, Kakashi his name was, something like that. Well, to be honest, I do not care. So, he wanted to put the world under the infinite Tsukiyomi so he could dream of that girl to live with her in a new world. As Naruto said, well, that is pretty stupid, you know. As Hashirama laughed and said, well, told Madara, as Madara scoffed and said, "Just shut up, Hashirama. You're really stupid." As Hashirama had a cloud of depression on his head. As Naruto was really surprised after seeing how the first Hokage, even the god of shinobi, looked like, as well as treat like. Well guys, I have recorded this video 2 times and 2 times it has been disturbed a lot. So right now I'm pretty tired. I have recorded 2 times of 1 hour. So I'm still trying to catch up to that now. So just a minute. As then Hashirama speak up, "Well Naruto, it is about time for your training to begin. We are going to train you and then you shall become the strongest shinobi in the whole shinobi world. After all, you have my Mokutan abilities, my healing abilities, and the Sharingan powers as well." As Madara smirked and said, "Well Hashirama, it seems that he has already unlocked Sharingan as well." As Hashirama smirked and said, "Well, he also used Mokutan, have you forgotten it?" As both of them looked towards each other as they had a staring contest. As Naruto said, "All right, so I'm going to become a strong shinobi, right? And then my dad and mom will acknowledge me and they will love me again, right?" As both Hashirama as well as Madara look towards Naruto. As Madara has a straight face, while Hashirama already knowing that it is not possible, that both Minato as well as Kushina, even Tsunade, has fallen under the curse of hatred, and there is no way until someone changes them. They're going to bring this village to pure utter destruction, to a new law that he never thought would be possible. As Hashirama smiled and said, "Well, Naruto, I do not know about it, but you should work hard, and who knows, one day, what you want shall come to light." As Naruto smiled, and then both Madara as well as Hashirama started to train Naruto. As Madara told Naruto that how they are going to train him to become a lot stronger. Now we have a time skip, as it is right now Naruto is 9 years old. In this time he was training with both Madara as well as Hashirama, and they were training him in the different arts. As they were surprised, Naruto had a lot of talent. Even Nine Tails started to help Naruto, and with the healing abilities of Hashirama as well as the Nine Tails, his physical training was going through the roof, as well as his other trainings. With the help of Shadow Clones, he was learning a lot faster. But for some reason, Naruto noticed that even though he was a kid, he thought that both Madara as well as Hashirama will hold back a little. But he saw that how they were training him in a bit of rush for some years. So for now, he just shrugged it off. As now it was the first day of the academy. As Naruto entered, as he saw that when he entered into the room, as everyone was glaring at him, and then another voice said, "Huh, who look it is? The demon of the hidden leaf village is here," as it was none other than Menma, who was smirking. As Naruto looked towards Menma and sighed. In this time, Naruto was given a separate apartment because both Jiraiya as well as Flashback. As Naruto was around, in this time he has already met with Hashirama as well as Madara as he was training. So he saw that how one day Jiraiya as well as Tsunade arrived. As he was looking towards Tsunade inside of Naruto, Hashirama was really angry at Tsunade, but he kept his anger in check, and then both of them looked towards Naruto and completely ignored him, and then they walked towards Minato. As then Jiraiya speak up, "Well Minato, I have a wonderful news for you." As Minato looked towards Jiraiya and said, "Huh, Jiraiya sensei, it's been a while." As both of them shared a hug, and then Kushina also arrived. "Mom," as Tsunade was happy to see her mother, and then Jiraiya said, "Well, I have come up with a prophecy given to me by the great old toad sage." Minato looked towards Jiraiya as Jiraiya said, "Well, the old toad sage has said that a child shall born from the yellow flesh and the red death, and he shall be trained by 2 legendary powers and shall have an ancient power inside of him, and then he shall either save the world or destroy it. Either way, he will bring a great change to the shinobi world." As then Minato looked towards Jiraiya with a smile and said, "So you're telling me that Menma and Mito are going to be the child of prophecy?" As Jiraiya smirked and said, "Yeah, of course they are going to be the child of prophecy. Who else could be?" Huh. As then both of them started to laugh as Jiraiya said, "Well, I think that I, legendary Sanin, Jiraiya, as well as Tsunade, the legendary Toad Slug Sanin, are going to train both Menma and Mito, and they already have the power of the Nine Tails inside of them. So they shall become the child of prophecy and save this world from or utter destruction. As both Minato as well as Kushina were happy. As Jiraiya said, well, Minato, I don't think that your third son is mentioned in the prophecy. As Minato scoffed and said, that abomination is not my son. He's just a demon and a monster. Nothing more than a demon and monster. As he also looked like that monster. As inside of Seal, Naruto was listening to everything as well as Madara was angry at Minato. He never thought that his son would turn out like this. After all, the main reason he loved his wife was because she was so kind, but it seemed that Minato was not like her mother, not even like him. Because even though Madara was hard, but still he loved his family. So it was really something bad. So Jiraiya said, so what should we do about him? As Minato said, well, I could even leave him in the streets, but it will not be good for my, you know, he has the soul of the Nine Tails, and if he dies somehow, the soul will return to the seal, and it might disrupt the seal. So we just have to keep him alive for now. As then Jiraiya nodded, as Minato said, well, I will give him another apartment. I should give him now. As Kushina sighs and said, yeah, that burden. I wish that he was never born. As Naruto was listening to all of this with tears in his eyes, he was really hurting by all of this. As Minato also nodded, that burden. Alright, I will give him an apartment and some money so that he could live on this world and be a burden for a bit longer until both Menma and Mito grow up to be strong and they can control the power of the Nine Tails. After that, we don't have any need for him after all. As all of them started to laugh, as Naruto was listening to all of this. Now, we go back as Menma was smirking, as Naruto simply ignored him and then Naruto stood in front of him. Well, Naruto, you know that I miss you a lot. As Naruto looked towards Naruto with a strange expression, as Naruto said, well, I miss you for you being our training dummy, As all of them started to laugh, already knowing what Naruto was talking about. Naruto simply ignored all of them as he took his seat, as he started to just ignore all of them. As then, after some time, Iruka finally arrived as he explained that how it is the first day of the academy and how they're going to see how strong the kids this year actually are. As then, Menma and Mito both smirk, knowing that they're the strongest kids there. And then, we have all the council members arrive. After all, it was the class of the years this year, so they wanted to see that who's the strongest right now and who shall be the strongest after the years. As then, Naruto looked towards both Minato as well as Kushina as he thought that if he proves his strength, that how he is strong as well, his parents will like him. As he has a smile on his face, he still have a bit of hope for his family, but we know it is not possible because after all, I'm the one who's recording here. So, as all the kids started to fight among themselves, and then the battles began. And after some time, Melma speak up. Well, Ruka sensei, I want to teach a certain demon a lesson in this class. I want to teach him his true place and who's the child of prophecy here. As Ruka smirked and said, alright, Menma, you want to challenge Naruto, right? As he nodded. And then Mito speak up. Well, Ruka sensei, it is not fair. I also want to beat that demon and show him the true strength of the child of prophecies. And Ruka sighs because he has been a bit annoyed by this thing of child of prophecy whatsoever. But still, he hates the demon, so he's going to go with the flow. As Minato smirked and said, well, I have trained both Menma and Mito along with Kushina. So I think that both of them are the strongest right here. As one of the council members speak up, yeah Minato, it is not fair to be honest. They are trained by Jiraiya, Tsunade, you, as well as Kushina. So I bet they are already on the high Genin level, as all of them laughed at that. As Minato said, well, they are my kids, and both Jiraiya and Tsunade are their grandparents. As for Jiraiya, he's their godparent. So I think that it is only fair. As all of them nodded at that. As one of them said, so the demon is going to get a good beating here. Well, there is something good after coming here. As all of them started to laugh, as Shikaku Nara just simply sighs. He do not like the attitude of these people. They are so arrogant and all. But he cannot do anything about it, and he knows it. So right now, he just shrugged it off. As Naruto also arrived, as he said, so as man must pick up. So demon, are you ready to get your beating? It has been some time since I beat you and practiced my taijutsu on you. As Mito also laughed and said, yeah, Naruto forget about these chains as chains started to came from her back. It will be fun. As Naruto had a blank expression as Iruka said, alright, begin. As Manma smirked and said, alright, demon, about time for your beating. As he started to rush towards Naruto, trying to punch him. As everyone was surprised at the speed of Manma, as he said, huh. As Kushina said, well, that demon is done for. My Menma-kun, as well as my Mito-kun, are so fast. As Menma about tried to punch Naruto, as everyone thought that punch is going to connect, but at the last second, Naruto dodged the attack like it was nothing. As Menma was surprised as he moved back and said, huh, a lucky. Got lucky, huh? Well, it will not happen again. As he launches himself at Naruto, trying to deliver a kick, but Naruto started to dodge all the attacks like they were nothing. As he was dodging each and every attack of both Menma as well as Mito. This was really angering Menma. As then Naruto delivered a punch to the gut of Menma as Menma was speaking. How dare you, demon, to dodge me? Just stay there so that I can beat you, But before he could complete his sentence, a punch was delivered to his gut as all the wind got knocked out of Menma. But before he could hit the ground, a kick was planted on his face as he was sent flying into the wall of the academy as everyone was in utter shock. And then Mito said, how dare you, demon? How dare you to hurt the child of prophecies and one of the Hokage's son? As she started to rush towards Naruto, trying to kick him or punch him or do anything. But Naruto dodged the punch of Mito and then delivered a kick to her gut, sending her flying as well as she also got knocked out. And Naruto smiled, thinking that now he has proven that he is also strong. And now his family will finally acknowledge him as he looked towards his parents with happiness, thinking that now he has finally proven his worth. But unfortunately, the only thing he met was a slap to his face, which sent him flying. Then the chain started to wrap around all over his body as he let out a scream of pain as everyone was cheering. As then he met with the Rasengan to his gut, sending him flying into the wall as everyone was cheering, yeah, Lord Ford, Lord Kushina, demon, beat the demon. As this time, Tadokage not being around, everyone in the village could talk about the Nine Tails as well as everyone knew, even the new generation, about the Nine Tails and the soul of the Nine Tails, not to hold it. As they were in pure utter shock when Naruto beat both Menma and Mito, but then they were quite happy as Minato as well as Kushina beat Naruto to the ground as Kushina was speaking. How dare you, demon, to hurt my childrens? You are a demon and nothing more than a demon. We will never acknowledge you. You are a demon, as she was beating down on Naruto, as Naruto was a bloody mess, as everyone started to laugh, and then they leave him there, taking away Menma and Mito to Tsunade, who healed both of them. Inside of the seal, both Madara as well as Hashirama were fuming in pure, utter anger, as they just wanted to go outside of the seal and then rip both Minato as well as Kushina limb by limb, as they were really angry at both of them. And then Naruto, thanks to the healing abilities of the Hashirama Senju as well as Nine Tails, he started to heal his body as he came back to his mindscape as he was in pure depression. As then Hashirama said, what is it, Naruto? Already knowing, but probably his great grandson. As Naruto looked towards Hashirama, you knew about it, didn't you? As Hashirama said, what did I knew, Naruto? As Naruto stood up and said, he started to scream, you knew all along that they will never acknowledge me. They hate me. They think I'm a demon, I'm a monster. I'm nothing more than a demon and monster. They will never acknowledge me or love me. You knew about this, but you never told me. As Hashirama looked towards Naruto, as he said, well, Naruto, I'm really sorry, but that is how things are. And I don't think that you can change it. They are really consumed by the hatred in their heart, and it can never be changed. Not by right now, at least, as Naruto was in pure anger. As then Madara speak up, well, Naruto, I don't think that they are ever going to change, but one thing you can do is to change yourself. If you cannot change the world, then change yourself. Just accept the fact and use this hate and power to get stronger. As Hashirama looked towards Madara, he was about to say something as Madara says, no, Hashirama, that is it. We have to tell the kid. As Madara looked towards Naruto and said, well, kid, there are a lot of kids in this world who do not have parents, who live in the orphanage, and many who live on the streets, but still they survive Many become the pawns on the hands of other, and many become the leader. It is up to you. You can consider your family there, or you can think that they do not exist, and then you can use that power to get strong, or become one of the pawns and nothing more than a pawn. Even if you are the child of prophecy, it doesn't matter. If you stop doing things, then the prophecy is also done for. So it is up to you. Use the hate, use the power, and become strong. Or be the naive kid you are right now and be in the dust forever. As this really hit Naruto a lot, even though he was about to scream at Madara that how it is his fault that he looks like him, but it was stupid, and he knew it, and he cannot speak it anymore as he looked towards Madara with determination in his eyes and said, "Alright, I'm ready for the upper level of training. I already know that you guys are training me, but not that hard. So I'm ready for more training." As both Madara as well as Madara's mark, as for Hashirama, who sighs and said, "Alright, Naruto, it is about time for us to get serious. After all, we do not have a lot of time." As he looked towards Madara as he nodded, and then their training began. Okay, guys, here I will leave this part. Hope you guys like it. If you guys want the next part of this series, just tell me in the comment section. For the next part, it is going to be 80 comments and 100 and no 200 likes and 80 comments. If you guys are able to do that, I shall upload the next part. And tell me in the next part if you want Naruto to leave the village, stay in the village, destroy the village, or become the leader of the village. It is up to you. Just tell me in the comment section and I will change the story from there. Okay, guys, see you. Peace.